What's good, y'all? Welcome to our channel. I'm Maya.
And Sarah.
And we are charmed and dangerous.
Because you know we're charming.
And we're dangerous. Ooh. But you know, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not feeling like super dangerous right now during Virgo season.
I feel like anxious, dangerous.
I'm a little anxious, so you know, if you see me with my truly more in hand, that's why it's the Virgo energy.
Yeah, Virgo energy definitely makes me overthink and overanalyze, and it just makes me hyper aware of everything.
It does.
That is wrong with me and the world.
It does. But in this video, we're gonna give you some tips on how to date a Virgo, okay? If you're in love with one, if you a Virgo, you know, we're gonna give you the tips. But before we get into it, we would love it if you hit that subscribe button down below. We're two besties, we talk about astrology, we talk about really whatever we want to talk about at the time. So if you can get down with that, if you're interested in this topic, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and now let's get into the video. Okay, Sarah, so let the people know your first tip on how to date a Virgo, how to win these.
Let me give you all these tips, because you know Virgos are picky. They're picky as fuck, so they already don't like you when you meet them.
It's true.
So you kind of gotta win them over, you know what I mean? Because they just have such high standards.
Yeah, I feel like mostly you're turning them off.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what I mean? So it's like they're already turned off by you, but then they're waiting to see how much you turn them on.
Yes, that's the real
And
key.
these are the tips we're gonna give you. You know what I mean? My first tip is let them plan out every detail of their life. Because guess what? It's their life, and planning makes them feel safe. If you're go with the flow, that is completely fine, but don't think that you can change Virgo. Their mercurial, analytical mind loves working with the details, and if you try to get them to see the bigger picture, they will honestly feel really unappreciated, because they're like, I'm taking all this time to plan out this, look at it from this angle, and you're just telling me to go with the flow and stop thinking about it.
Right.
I've been doing this my whole life. You know what I mean? They love putting their organization skills to use, and as their partner, they need you to love and accept that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. If you don't love details, like, and putting the time in for like the little things, like, Virgo is going to annoy you, and that's really rude, because honestly the details and how much time and care they put into things is one of their best traits.
Yeah.
You know, so like, don't take that for granted. If that's not for you, then don't fuck with the Virgo, because their energy is really beautiful. You know, they're not for everybody, but don't try and change them.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, if you want something done right or planned right or organized, you need a Virgo to do it. So if you are in a relationship with someone that has Virgo energy in their chart, you get to reap the benefits of having a partner that does that and does it with ease and isn't forced to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone has these people, they're like, you have to do this for me, you have to do that for me. Virgo already does those things. You know what I mean? So if you don't appreciate that, or if it's too much for you, don't date a Virgo.
Don't. Okay, so my first tip on how to date a Virgo is don't be nasty unless it's in the bedroom. Okay? Because then they like it if you're nasty, you know what I mean? But generally speaking, like, a Virgo doesn't like a mess. So make sure when you're going out with your Virgo that you're showered and that you're like well put together. You know what I mean? Or if the Virgo's coming over, make sure you straighten up around your house, because they'll get turned off and they'll get very stressed about your messy environment. And they like to put off a very clean front, you know what I mean? And they want to be presentable to others. So if they feel like their lover or their partner isn't looking presentable or isn't living in an organized way, they're embarrassed and like they're gonna be stressing. And I feel like your number one duty as a Virgo partner is to not have them stress as much, because they're stress balls. So if you can do anything to alleviate that stress, you go and do it.
Yeah.
So don't be nasty.
Oh. Get it together. Be clean.
Be clean.
Honestly though, I really do think that's one of the things that gets them like overthinking. Like, everything else can be going perfectly fine with someone, and if that person is like messy or cluttered or whatever, that's what my Virgo friend usually tells me. Like, I have a Virgo bestie, and like he always tells me when someone's being nasty, or we went over to someone's house and like they were being nasty, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah,
you're like, that is a character flaw.
Yeah,
you know?
It is.
And
but Virgo will talk about it. You know what I mean? Because it irritated them so much, and they noticed it. They have an eye for detail.
Yes.
So while you're talking, they can listen to you and also be browsing around the room, like looking at you, looking under your fingernails, like look at them toes, like, you know what I mean?
And
they're seeing it all.
And best believe that if they're like in an environment where it's like kind of messy, and if they feel somewhat comfortable, they're gonna go ahead and start cleaning.
Oh,
and
for
like
sure.
reorganizing.
And then you're gonna feel weird.
And then
you know
you're
what
gonna
I mean?
feel very awkward.
It's so awkward.
yeah, you know, boundaries will be crossed. Just be a little bit cleaner. Just straighten up a little bit. So you know, you put on a good front and like impression for them.
I mean, true, but also it's like if you're just dirty, you probably shouldn't be with a Virgo.
Yeah, they're gonna figure it out eventually.
But also, actually,
maybe you
I don't
can like mesh and
don't like get mad at
potentially
me, Virgo, but like maybe you will be with them because you guys like projects.
Oh. And Virgos all have that one little mess.
You know what I mean?
That
Oh,
they
yeah.
like talk about.
Like we always talk about how Virgos are clean,
Yeah.
but they always have one thing that they're really, really dirty in.
Yeah.
You know, Virgo, if you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all have this one thing. Like I don't know if it's the closet, the shoe closet, like that one drawer. It just looks nasty. I know you all have it.
You have to have
like your biggest fear for someone to find out that you have that.
Right, because you judge people so much.
Right. Okay, so for my second tip on how you can date a Virgo, I want you guys to help them, or I should say allow them to declutter their mind with you. Virgo has a lot of thoughts, feelings, opinions, judgments, the list goes on. They have a lot of things.
They do.
They need a partner that they can discuss these things with. They take venting to a whole nother level. But get this, Virgo would never call it venting. They call it regular ass conversation. But Virgo just talks shit and says this and this was annoying and that was annoying and oh my god, that was a problem. And they will just never stop.
Yeah.
Like they just don't know when to stop. And the thing is, like Virgo, like Gemini, since they're both Mercurials, they love talking it out. Otherwise, they would blow up. Yes, Virgo is like private and shy and quiet, but when they get really comfortable with you, they want to unload. They need to unload, and they want to talk about what stresses them out. You know, what keeps them up at night. And as their partner, you need to be willing to go down that rabbit hole with them. Otherwise, they'll feel crazy.
Yeah.
They'll feel really crazy and they will shut down. So you don't really want a Virgo to shut down, because I feel like out of a lot of signs, when Virgo shuts down, it's really hard to pull them back.
Yeah.
Because once they have decided that you judge them or that you made them feel uncomfortable and that you didn't get them, they will start doing that Virgo thing where they start over stressing, over analyzing, and then thinking about how this relationship's not gonna work because when they tried to vent to you, you made them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, Virgo needs to vent.
Yes.
I would say more than a lot of other people.
For sure. I mean,
Virgo and Gemini.
Yeah, I mean, it's that mercurial energy, right? So they love to talk. Like everybody talks about how Geminis love to talk, but Virgos love
But they just
to
gotta be
talk
comfortable with you.
too.
Gemini will talk to anybody.
Anybody. Yes.
People that don't even want to talk to Gemini. Gemini's like, you're gonna make time for me because I got shit to say. But you know what I
Right.
mean? But
But-
Virgo, once they get comfortable with you, they talk just as much as a Gemini.
Yeah, so I feel like it makes it more special though too, because it's like, oh, now I am comfortable with you. I feel like it leads me perfectly into my second point, because it takes Virgos a little bit longer to come around, you know what I mean? They're a little bit slower to move.
They're
so
a
like
slow burn for sure.
you need to be okay with them taking their time to trust you, to come around, you know what I mean? Because it's not gonna be immediately hot and heavy with them. Not to say that it won't get hot and heavy. They just need a little bit more time to bring that side of them out and to feel comfortable around you. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, you know what I mean? But you do need to give them the time and the space to do that. But I also feel like very key for Virgo is like being consistent and like showing up in their regular life, you know what I mean? Proving you can do like regular everyday things with them, because it's like if you don't fit into their everyday schedule, you may not be seeing that Virgo that much. Like once you get with them, I think they're a little bit more flexible, but either way, like consistency is key with them, you know, and doing their regular routines with them is going to be key and making them happy, because they're very comfortable in what they do.
They love their schedule. And honestly, what you just said reminds me of another tip. I feel like if you think that you're moving slow with the Virgo, or you're frustrated, so you decide to act out in some way just to get a reaction out of them, they're done.
Yeah.
Like that shit doesn't really work with them. Like you might think it does, but at the end of the day, I don't know how it is for all Virgos. From the Virgos I've experienced, they hate it. They hate tests. They hate people trying it with them or like seeing if they get jealous, because they're such practical people that they don't see the point of doing all that. They would just rather have a conversation with you, with being upfront about it, rather than doing like the jealousy thing or like acting out. You know what I mean? Again, it stresses them out. If you are doing something out of the ordinary to get a reaction out of them, that stresses them out. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just not cool, because Virgo, like we said, is already stressed out. He doesn't need you stressing, he or she doesn't need you stressing them out just to prove to you that like, oh, I still want you, you know?
Virgos need peace in their partner. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they need peace, they need communication, and to feel accepted by you. And if you don't want to bring that energy, then like, go on. You know? Because they get judged a lot. They do a lot of judging themselves. They're really hard on themselves, so like, you need to be loving and accepting of them. You know?
Yeah. And if you're a Virgo watching, stop judging people.
Right. They could never.
Yeah, that. I was like, I literally.
We say this, but like I feel like they really could never.
No, they can't. They love to critically think.
You know, I love a good Virgo read every once in a blue moon.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, like, I don't want to project on me.
Okay, so for my third and final tip on how you can date a Virgo, I want you as their partner to get excited for them. No matter how big or small their wins are, show them how happy you are for them. Virgos have a way of really humbling themselves constantly. They can be honestly one of the most pessimistic, realistic, whatever you want to call it, signs in the zodiac, and will talk themselves out of being proud of themselves because they think it's not a big deal, or they're ready to go on to the next goal, you know? And their mind is constantly thinking of new problems and how to fix them, but sometimes they really aren't any new problems, you know what I mean? It's time for Virgo to be happy, and if you as their partner can remind them that life can be light and bright and happy and they don't need to be in problem solving mode all the time, they will really appreciate you. And honestly, they just need that. Yeah. Virgo is always being such a pessimist, realist, like I said, whatever you want to call it, because they don't want to be surprised. They want to plan out for the worst case scenario. But sometimes it's not about the worst case scenario, Virgo. Sometimes you deserve some really good things happening to you. But also when you have a good partner on your side that can see the positive things and can see the happiness in life, it'll check you a little bit more. So I feel like you guys should go for people that are generally more positive because you guys are so naturally realistic. And while that's good, but you know what I mean? Like, you won't ever be surprised, like I said. Sometimes you just need to hope for the best case scenario.
And I feel like you're so right. Like, Virgos, they work so hard. You know what I mean? And I feel like they don't give themselves the accolades and the praise that they deserve, you know? And then they don't ask it from other people too. So I feel like as their partner, you really have to go out of your way to be like, hey babe, like, you're doing so great. I see how hard you're working. And like, that's gonna make them so happy.
Yeah, like, let's celebrate you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
they're gonna try and be uncomfortable with it, but you have to keep on. Like, you have to like be like, you're fucking amazing. I see how hard you're working, and that's that.
Honestly, I think that's something that all Virgos can work on. Learn to accept compliments. I feel like Virgos get really shy and awkward when people pay them compliments, but like, when someone pays you a compliment, just say thanks.
That's it.
You know what I mean? You don't have to be like, no, you, or like, no, stop. No, just say thanks, Virgo. It's a good thing. People will compliment you, and that is perfectly fine.
Yes.
Get comfortable with it because you deserve it.
You're way too critical of yourself.
And maybe if you stop being critical of yourself, you'll be less critical of, you know, the world around you and the people you're with.
We would all love that.
Thank you for us.
So my last point on how to date a Virgo, how to win them over, is, you know, first of all, Virgos are very logical and intelligent beings, right? So like, and they like to teach, they like to learn, they like to break things down and figure out like how they work. So make sure you're stimulating them in some type of way, whether that be conversations, giving them interesting facts, like watching like fun documentaries or like mysteries together, you know what I mean? Exploring and expanding their mind. And, you know, for example, like I said, take the documentary or the mystery, right? This is a perfect scenario to me because you're doing something mundane and typical, but you can allow Virgo to do what Virgo does best, right? Like, you can sit back, watch a movie, and let them judge and get to the bottom of a situation, right? And then you can ask your Virgo, like, hey, why did you like this? Why didn't you like this? What do you think about that? And then that also allows you to get to know their very kind of crazy mind a little bit more, and I feel like they will love you for that too. You know what I mean? Like, you're communicating with them, which we've said that they love, like they love to chat, right? And they want to know that you care about them and they feel different, you know what I mean? So they want to know that you're trying to like see them for who they are.
I feel like problem solving with a Virgo is a turn on for Virgos.
Huge turn on.
And if you can problem solve well with them, I'm not saying all Virgos are the best problem solvers, sometimes they stress themselves out, but if you guys work well together, and I feel like when you do watch these things together, it kind of puts, you know, a new perspective of a problem into your mind together. You know what I mean? You're both working towards finding a solution for something, or you're watching, like, let's say a murder documentary and you're both like, well, I think it's this person. Oh no, I think it's that person because of that. Virgo loves shit like that. You know what I mean? They love dissecting situations. So they will definitely fuck with you if you're into that shit. Anything that requires extra thought.
Yes. Question it. Challenge it. They're into it.
Yeah. All right, lovely people. Thank you for hanging out with us while we discuss our tips on how you can date Virgos. If you agreed with any of our tips, comment down below. If you have any other tips, comment down below. And if this is your first time watching and you still haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe.
Do that already.
You know you like us. Okay, you made it to the end of the video. Stop lying. And if you didn't know, we got a podcast. So for you people who don't always watch YouTube, or maybe you just can't help but want more of us, go subscribe to our podcast. The links are down below, and at the end of each YouTube video, we actually have a question that relates to our topic, and we discuss it further in the podcast. Are you ready for this week's question?
You know I am.
Okay, so the question is, what is Virgo's biggest turn on?
Yes.
We're gonna talk about the turn on.
Yes,
all right?
because there's too many turn offs.
Yeah.
You know, so we gotta do a turn on.
Yeah, we gotta switch it up. We're gonna link our socials somewhere over here. The podcast goes live every Wednesday. We post every Monday and Thursday for YouTube. We hope Virgo season is treating y'all well. We hope that you aren't stressing yourself out too much. All right, take breaks when you need to. Go outside, plant a tree, get a new flower, whatever it is, you know? We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.